This is Kelly from CelticCastOn.com. It's been quite a while since I've given you an update or a blog post on the blog. To be honest, I'm not really into blogging that much anymore. I really don't have time to blog, and I find that posts take a long time to pull it out of my head, I guess. So I'm going to try a video update with you this time, and we'll see how that goes. A lot of people have been asking me to start a podcast, which, to be honest, I'm really not sure if I want to get into it or not. So this is kind of going to be my little trial to see how it goes. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Celtic Cast On. CelticCastOn.com is my website. I'm on Instagram, Ravelry, Facebook, and Twitter, also as Celtic Cast On. And that's all one word. So first off, let me just update you. I think my last blog post might have been, surprise, I'm going to have a baby. So I am now 29 weeks pregnant. Let me show you. There's baby number 2, right there. So getting excited, and things are really becoming real now. I kind of didn't want to let myself get too excited in case anything happened at the beginning, but 29 weeks in and we're almost there, so I'm getting things ready and getting excited. Things seem to have flown by this time too. I guess I've been working a lot, and it just, I blink and it's almost over. So anyway, we're very excited. So with that being said, I wanted to show you 2 baby FOs that I have. I haven't really knit, well, actually these are the only 2 things that I've knit so far for this baby. When we had our daughter, who is now 6, we didn't know what she was going to be, either girl or boy. So I kind of knit yellow and green and different things like that. So this time we still didn't find out, but I do have, still have all those things that were knit for my daughter. So I haven't been knitting a whole lot just yet. I want to see if it's going to be a boy or a girl and that kind of thing. So anyway, first FO. These are both test knits. Anybody who has read my blog in the past knows that I did quite a lot of test knitting in my daughter's younger days. Not so much anymore. I really don't have a lot of time for it. But if I find something, if something really piques my interest, I'm like, oh, yes, me, I want to test knit. So this first one, I did this before Christmas. This is the Merriment Cardigan by Melinda Bernard. So this is the, oh goodness, it's hard to get everything straight here. So this is the Merriment Cardigan. So Melinda, you will know from French Press Knits. She was the knitter of the French Press felted, French Press felted slippers. They were like a little ballet slipper and then had a little tab across the front with a button on it. They were really popular. So anyway, she's just coming back into designing after a long break. And this is her first design. I mean, come on, it's gorgeous. There is also a little bonnet that matches it too. I didn't knit the bonnet yet. I may still, but it features this colorwork design around the top area of the head, and then the lace stitch pattern on the back of the head. Super cute. So this is, here we go. This is a 6-month size. I knit this in Cascade 220. Let me see if I have the gray. Gray is color 8509, and the white is 8010. And the navy that I used for the color work is Barocco Vintage. Now normally with Farrah you want to use a sticky yarn, something that's going to almost felt, because this is steeked, and how it was knit is knit from the top down in one piece, and then afterwards you're going to cut right up the middle of your knitting and steek it, and then add the button bands on after. So you definitely want a sticky wool preferably 100%. But I had the perfect color of Barocco Vintage remnant in my stash, and I didn't want to buy another skein. So I used it, and it worked really well, considering that it's not 100% wool. The only thing I do have to still do, is add in the ribbon on the inside just to cover up my steeks, make it look pretty. But it's a gorgeous cardigan, and I kind of did it in neutrally colors, so I'm hoping that it can go either way, but we'll see once the baby's born. If the baby even fits into it at the right time, we'll see. But anyway, that's the Merriment cardigan, and it is available for purchase now because I did knit this before Christmas. Goodness, I've got to get my left and right, backwards and frontwards correct here. So that's the first one. And the next one is one that I just finished over the Christmas holidays. I had some time off, and I saw this pattern come up. Andrea Sanchez. She has her own line of patterns, but she's also the curator of Knittin' Little, which is kind of a new web pattern collection. It comes out like quarterly, so they have a winter collection out now, and you can buy the patterns from their website, Knittin' Little. And she's also coming out with a book, which looks really good. The book is called Great Knit Sweaters for Guys Big and Small. And basically the whole book, every sweater can be knit from a size 2, a kid size 2, up into, I think, an extra large male. So they're really cute patterns. And you will see this pattern that I knit is called Winter Cocoa. And she just actually released it today, or maybe yesterday. So you can buy it now. Let me see if I can get the color so you can see the pattern on it. So basically it's cables on either side of double moss stitch. There is a cable, let me see if you can see this. There's a cable down the front of the arm that matches the cable on the sides of the moss stitch, and then it's the same on the back. And a little turned over neck collar. I love that. I think it's so cute. So this is Winter Cocoa. Now I used Rowan Superwash DK for this. I'll show you my remnants here. So Rowan Pure Wool Superwash DK. They come in 50-gram balls. And this is maroon, which is color number 37. So that's what I used for it. Now this one is knit bottom up, and you join under the arms and then join it up that way. I don't really enjoy that as much as I do knitting top down or knitting in pieces even. But it still works, and it's cute, and it was totally worth it. So that's that one. Boston, it's okay, buddy. I also have a giant dog. We had 2, but we had to put one down at the start of this year. So Boston is our only dog at the minute, and he is a Rottie Lab Shepherd mix. He's over 100 pounds. He's big, and I'll try and show him to you at the end, just because if I get him over here now, he's going to want to sit on my lap the whole time. So those are my 2 FOs. What else did I want to say? I've got notes and notes and notes. It's been a while since I've talked to you guys. Oh, sock FOs. So, how am I going to start this? The Bakery Bears podcast is having a Cozy Toes knit-along. And when I heard Kay first talk about this Cozy Toes knit-along, I knew right away. I was like, oh, yes, just those plain stockingette socks, just knitting round and round and round. That is totally where my mindset is right now. Now, here's the funny story. When I first was pregnant in the summer, I was quite nauseous and very, very tired. I had no headspace for anything other than plain stockinette. So I was knitting socks at the time, and I got to the gusset of the socks, and I did not want to do the gusset of those socks. Nothing, like I had no interest whatsoever. So I put the socks away, and I think I had 3 pairs of socks on the go at that time. And I just had no interest in any of them at all. So I had all these socks on my needles. Actually, I only have 2 sets of double pointed. 1 second. Sorry about that. I had to let Boston out. So as I was saying, I only have 2 sets of double pointed needles for my socks. That's my preferred method. And I like to use carbons. Let me see if I can show you for those that don't know what they are. So this is a carbon. So it's got the metal tip and then carbon fiber for the needle. So I had a pair of socks on the go, as well as a thicker pair of socks on the go. I think they're worsted weight. And every sock that I had, I stopped at the gusset and I just could not get my head around sitting down and knitting the gusset. So when Kay announced that they were doing a Cozy Toes KL, I was like, oh yeah, I'd really like to do that, but I have to finish those socks that are on my needles. So I kind of procrastinated. Christmas came along, and my friend Sarah, who in this house we refer to as Knitting Sarah, Knitting Sarah bought me 2 skeins of Arnie and Carlos, the Regia sock yarn. And as soon as I saw those skeins of yarn, I was like, that's it. I'm finishing those socks and I have to cast on these other ones. So I pulled out the bag that had the current socks that I was working on in, and I had finished the gussets. I don't know when I did it, but the only thing I had to do was graft 1 toe. I left it in the bag with 1 toe to graft. Not exactly sure why I did that, but anyway. So we have an FO after all that. So these are, gosh, I started these in the summer when we were taking trips in our very old Ford truck. I'll tell you about that some other time. But so this is what I would take with me just to go round and round and round while we're driving the truck. So here they are finished. So this is Patton's Croy rag stripes. Let me make sure I got that right. My notes are really bad. Like I've written paragraphs instead of writing lines to help me see where I am. Let me see. Where are we? Oh gosh. It's Patton's Croy Rega. Patton's Croy color. Here we go. No, that's the other socks. Oh gosh. Rag shades. There we go. Patton's Croy rag shades. Sorry. For the body, and I use Cascade Heritage in red for the cuffs, the toes, and the heels, and they're just my 60 stitch plain vanilla socks. So those were finally finished. So I decided, as soon as I got my test knit out of the way, I was casting on those socks. Well, those socks didn't last very long on my needles, let's just say. I finished them. And I will show you, they were exactly what I needed to knit. My headspace right now, if I even have time to knit when I'm actually sitting down, when the daughter's in bed and everything else is finished, if I have any energy left, it's just plain stockinette that I want to knit. So here we go. Here's one. So this is the Arnie and Carlos, and this is the Twilight colorway. It's colorway number 3654. And I'm just going to get the other one on so I can show you them both. So again, it's just plain stockinette socks and 60 stitches. And you know what? I only used 1 ball for these socks. Because I used Patton's Croy for the toe, the heel, and the cuff, I only needed to use 1 ball. And it was actually like 1 ball right down to maybe I had this much left on the skein. But it worked out perfectly. And I only needed to use 1 to make these pretty socks. So again, that's Arnie and Carlos Twilight, color 3654. So as soon as I got these finished and I had that extra ball, I was like, oh, maybe I should trade it in and get another skein of Arnie and Carlos in a different colorway and knit some more socks. So that leads me into my one work in progress right now, which is another Arnie and Carlos colorway. This one is called Summer Nights. The number is 3657, and it's like a tealy blue, orange, beige. I really like this colorway. And for the cuff, I did a twisted rib, just for a different look this time. So I didn't do 60 stitches for these. I did 62. I'm not sure whether it's my feet at the minute because I'm pregnant, or if it's something that my feet are getting bigger and I'm not really realizing it. But at the gusset stitches where you decrease, I'm finding that when I wear them, they're kind of pulling apart. There's no ladder there at all. It's just when I put them on, it seems to be really stretched over the top of my foot. So I've done 32 stitches on the top and 30 on the bottom, just to see if I can give myself a little more wiggle room. I also have high arches, so that might be something to do with it too. So we'll see how we go, but this one's knitting up quickly. So I have one ball of this, and then hopefully I will be able to get one pair of socks from this. We will see. And this is also Knitting Sarah. She didn't only buy me the Arnie and Carlos, but she made me this gorgeous bag. We have a thing, Sarah and I, that we don't usually do presents, especially at Christmas time, because there's so many gifts and money being spent and that. There's the inside fabric. There's the outside. But she totally sneak attacked me and made me this beautiful bag and gifted me yarn. So thank you, Sarah. So that's my only whip. I have so many whips in my knitting basket right now, but I have no mind space for anything but stockinette. So I'm having a hard time pulling out anything else to work on. So we'll see how that goes. I might find the energy to pull something else out. Oh, I do have one more FO. One of the guys my husband works with, I recently knit, and I already gifted it, but I knit a little hat. They just had a baby girl, and I knit a little hat out of Knit Picks Felici. It was a pink and orange and yellow, and I can't exactly remember what the colorway was. I think it might have been sorbet. Anyway, I just knit them a little, just plain knitting, ribbed little hat. And I was gonna knit them a cardigan, but it's kind of, I'm the kind of person that if I don't think you're gonna really appreciate my knitting, you don't get my knitting. So I knit them the hat. I was gonna knit her a cardigan, and then I thought, you know what? If they don't even use the cardigan, ugh. So I didn't bother knitting the cardigan. But then once they opened the package, I got a text from them with her wearing the hat and saying how they loved it and loved knit stuff. And then I got a text a couple of weeks later from the husband, and he asked me if I could knit his wife a hat for her birthday. So I said, oh, well, sure, I'll knit you the hat. And so he wanted a hat with a ponytail hole in it. I'm sure you've seen them. So I gave him some options, some pictures from Ravelry, and he chose one. This one is called the Plant a Seed Hat by Renee. I think it's Renee. I don't know if it's Renee or Renee Hanlon of Peculiar Ambitions. So I used Barocco Vintage for this. She had two jackets, and I was trying to get a color that would kind of go with both, because one was black and one was like a teal color. So I'm hoping this will work. So the hat is moss stitch on the bottom where the ribbing would be, and then ribbed moss stitch on the top. It looks really cool. And then here's the ponytail holder, and I'm going to try and get a picture of my daughter wearing this, because clearly I don't have a ponytail today to show you. But I'm hoping it fits her. I'm going to give it to them this afternoon, so I need to get pictures before he takes off with it to give it to her for her birthday. So hopefully that will go down well. So that was the only other thing that I whipped up recently. So I know most people do yarn acquisitions and all that jazz, but to be honest, I'm hoping not to have very many acquisitions this year. I'm going to try and knit mostly from stash. I've got a lot of stash and a lot of nice stash. I just need to use it, and I need to look at my patterns that I've already purchased and combine them together and knit from that instead of going, oh, squirrel, look, I need to knit this. I need to buy this yarn. So we'll see how that goes, but I do have 2 acquisitions for you. I'm going to call this, and I hate to say section because I'm not really podcasting. It's just a video, I think. Anyway, so I'm going to call this My Bad. Now this is kind of an inside joke with Knitting Sarah and I. She would, if she bought yarn, she would text me and she was like, I did a bad. And I'd be like, what did you buy? So this is kind of the my bad section if I happen to purchase something. So my bad is actually right over here and right there. I bought, let me go back a bit. Last summer, I started ripping apart our daughter's room. We moved into this house just over a little bit over a year ago, but it was very dated. Everything needs to be ripped up and redone. So if you see things in the picture that aren't finished, like that means I don't have the bottom of my wall painted properly. Anyway, so I started ripping apart my daughter's room. I got it all finished. We got her bunk bed. She was so excited. Then she picked out the comforter to go onto the bunk beds, the bottom one at least anyway. Do you think I could find anything that matched that comforter that I could decorate with? Nothing. And this is always my problem. I can find things that I like, but things that go together, just, I can't seem to find anything. So anyway, just before Christmas, I think it was actually, might have been a Boxing Day sale. There is a store. She's on Instagram as Alice and Ivory, and her store is aliceandivory.storeenvy.com, and she makes and sells prints. So this is the one that I bought from her. I have been eyeing this for a while, and I showed it to my daughter on the internet, and she was just like, meh, didn't really care. So I bought it anyway because I figured if she doesn't like it, I'm going to use it in the baby's room. So this is what it is. It's called, getting glare here. It's called 5 Feathers. And it's just gorgeous. Look at all those blues. And her comforter is blue, white, and teal. So I figured the blue would go nicely. And she's got gray walls too. So the white would be a nice pop behind it. So that was one I bought. I actually bought 2 prints, but I'll save the other one for another time because it's definitely for the baby's room. So that's, again, aliceandivory.storeenvy.com. So that's going to be going up this week. I just got the frame. So that's the first one. And the second one is this one. Now, I bought this 2 days ago. This is from a store. Gosh, I've got everything on a tilt. There. This is from a store. Now the store is called Pretty Plus Paper. And it's an Etsy store. And it's run by Maya. And Maya is my good friend. You will know her from being the owner of Spring Tree Road Yarns. If you know any indies, she used to own Spring Tree Road. She's recently closed up shop and she has opened a print shop. And I think she has a jewelry one too. It's a different name, something honey. Anyway, so this is from her print shop, Pretty Plus Paper. And basically it's an instant download. You download it right away. And so I downloaded it, not last night, the night before. I sent it over to Staples on my computer, and I got it the next day. So I went out and bought the frame, and I can't wait to hang it up. So this is my daughter's zodiac sign, and she's kind of into stars and constellations and that, so I thought it was pretty neat. The color does match the navy of her room, and then it gives you 3 characteristics of that zodiac sign. So this one says charismatic, focused, and brave, which I thought was pretty fitting for her. So that one's going to go up on the wall too. So those are my acquisitions, or my bad. So I think I'm going to wrap this up. I didn't want to do anything too long. I just wanted to give you guys a quick heads up on what was new with me and say hello. It's been quite a while. So let me know your thoughts on video update. Did you like it? I'm still contemplating podcasts, so let me know what you think. And if you have any questions at all, you can contact me. Ravelry is probably the easiest. I'm Celtic Cast On, or you can email me at celticcaston@gmail.com. So, let me just talk about this. This bowl, my dad he has an Etsy shop. It's called Belle Isle Woodworks, but we don't actually have anything up in the shop right now. But he spins bowls. I'll bring it closer. You have to see the wood grain. It's gorgeous. So this is one of the spalted bowls that he made and that I have in my home. He also makes yarn bowls, which I'll show you another time. If you've known my blog, you've seen them already. And he made these with the moose on them. So these are the small sock blockers, but he does have 2 other templates to make larger ones. So once we get these up and running, I'd like to put them in a shop too. But I'll give you guys a heads up in case you were interested. And we're kind of looking for other patterns to go on top too. So anyway, that's it for now. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And do let me know what your thoughts are. All right, see ya.